Okay. Share with somebody next to you how you added voice in your memoir for a minute, please. Did everyone share? I think that I want to share something that Paige and I were talking about. Paige, can I share it with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Paige and I were having a little conversation while you guys were working about how she feels like she's been working so hard on her memoir that it feels like it's not as special as it was when she first wrote it, because she's kind of ready to move on. And I totally get that. Does anyone else get that? Where you're like, okay, enough already, Mrs. Bengal. Right? And what I explained to Paige was that, you know, Judy Blume and her revising 30 sometimes, revising for her editors and stuff, going, I just want to be done. I just want to be finished. All this is pretty hard thinking. And I said to her that I'm pretty sure she hasn't taken away any of her voice in her story, because she has an excellent story and memoir. And that when you look at something that's important to you over and over again every day, it kind of feels like it's not as important anymore. For example, I told Paige, if I were to pick out a photo album from when Sophie and Grayson and Malaya were babies or little, and I looked at it, it would be really special to be like, oh, I forgot how little they were, you know? But then if I looked at it every day for a month, I'd be like, yeah, I've seen these. Yeah, I've seen these. But then when I don't look at it for a year and go pull it out, I'm like, oh, look at them. Do you know what I mean? So that right now, when you're in the thick of it, when you're really working hard on these memoirs every day, it feels not as special, because we've been doing it for, what, 3 weeks now?
It feels like, to me, it almost felt like I should abandon it, because it's like I'm getting so sick of it. It's like, I don't even know
But
the story.
what I told Paige, and I'll tell you, is that when you take your eyes away from this, after we publish it, and you take your eyes away from it for a year, and you read it again next year at this time, it's going to be even more special. And when you read it in 10 years or 20 years from now, and you see and you remember all the work you put into it, it's going to be even more special for you. So right now, it feels like I want to be done. But I'm pushing you guys outside of your comfort zone so that you're able to produce something really exceptional. And really what you've been doing is amazing. And Mr. Harrison and I talk about this all the time, how awesome you guys are doing. And how great you're hanging in there. So just know that I appreciate what you're doing. I understand how hard it can be to be working on the same story every day. I get that. And we're going to have one heck of a party next Friday when we share these. Does that make everyone feel a little better?
Yeah.
Okay. So back to, I kind of went off course there, but back to today's ideas of voice. Who thinks they added something that they want to share that made it a little stronger? Ethan, what did you put? Talk really loud so our camera can hear you.
I put, we were madder than a bunch of monkeys who lost their bananas.
We were madder than a bunch of monkeys who lost their bananas. Can you picture that? Yeah, I love that, Ethan. McKenna, what did you change or add?
sitting down in the middle of the trail. But in that time, Mom's horse, Kaplunk, he literally laid all his weight on the rocky stone tree.
Kerplunk. I love that. I love your story too.
Thank you.
Good job.
I am not saying that out loud. So.
So it's your wondering in your head. Good. Kid.
I remember one touchdown. I'll skip to the last one. OMG, I actually caught the football. This is the greatest catch in history of football.
And that's what you were thinking, right? In your
Because
head?
it was a diving catch, just keeping the ball and that was for the touchdown.
Did you tell that before you wrote that?
Yeah.
So I know, Kate, you didn't just say, oh, I just thought, what a great catch I made. You said it in a really great way. So, good job. Trevor.
My mind went from a hopeless feeling to a heart attack feeling.
From a hopeless kind of to a heart attack, really fast paced. I can picture it. Great job. Two more, Maddie.
I put my water gun in the water bucket until it stopped bubbling all the way to the top of the bucket.
Very good. I can picture it. Bruce.
I originally wrote, I was thinking, who was that? And I changed it to, in my head I was thinking, who was that? Was she just parking her, or was she trying to give us?
So a little more detail, a little more, it showed a little bit more of your thinking and description. Great job. All right. So tomorrow and Friday when I'm not here, you get the pleasure of peer editing with your friends and stick to our 4th grade writing conventions. And then next week, we will start publishing. We're at the end. Yay! Feels good. And you will be so proud of these stories, and you know that they're coming back to you in those hardcover books, so you'll be able to hold on to them. McKenna, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Well, remember my Mr. Bengal's grandma passed away?
Oh, yeah.
So that's her funeral tomorrow. And then Friday I have a meeting. So since the boys went first, let's have the girls put their writing away. And come back over to the Squircle when you're finished putting your writing away.